At this time, I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Nashville Town Council to order. Would you please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Father, we invite you into our town council meeting tonight to give us wisdom and guidance in making the right decisions for all the citizens of Nashville. Amen.
Amen.
The first item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes. Did you see any corrections that needed to be made on the minutes?
Being none, I move that we approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The minutes are approved as we read them. At this time, I need a motion to add Dr. Honeycutt to our agenda from the community college. Do I hear a motion that we add Dr. Honeycutt to our agenda?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
So at this time, Dr. Honeycutt, you have the floor.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me into the mix here. That's great. Well, first off, I'll just say welcome. I mean, I'm so happy to be here. But the last time I was here was pre-COVID.
Right.
I mean, I've seen everybody and done a lot of things since then, but the last time I presented to y'all was before COVID, which is so hard to believe. I'm about to start my 6th year as president of Nashville
That's
Community
hard to
College.
believe.
It is extremely hard to believe.
Yeah.
The time has gone incredibly fast. It has been a COVID presidency, and we're still climbing out of it. We're not nearly where I wanted to be in my 6th year of doing this, but it's what it is. The good news is I have a great team members. One of them standing right over there behind the camera.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there are about 400 of us that work at the college, about 200 part-time, 200 full-time. Xavier is one of the full-time and has been a great addition to the team. We always appreciate the support we feel from Nashville and Nash County as in general. We're unique in that we sit in between two towns. Typically, a community college sits in a town and is surrounded by city or whatever it is. I'm from the country in Texas. I kind of like that we're out in the middle of nowhere. So being 4.5 miles from y'all, 7.5 miles from Rocky Mount, it's not a big thing. A lot of greatness has happened at the college since I was here. So I reached out and said, hey, it's about time to do an update. I'm going to endeavor to not make it be 5 years from now when I come back. So that's my goal. Just to give you a little bit of an enrollment update, COVID hurt us just like it did everyone else. We, in the first year post-COVID, lost 18% of our enrollment, which was a big, I came to town, COVID hit, and enrollment dropped. So I'm not sure if there's a connection there, but we have been kind of clawing our way out since that time. And as most of the community colleges have, there's 58 of us in the state, and enrollment dropped everywhere. What we found in the post-COVID world, as everybody knows, people are working 2 and 3 jobs, and life has changed, and attitudes have changed. And so we weren't getting a lot of students back. And we couldn't really figure out why we were doing everything we thought we were supposed to be doing right. Well, last year, we grew by 2%, which in years when you hadn't grown by anything, 2% sounded great. Some of the other colleges around the state were growing by 8s and 10%. So we went to visit several of them and said, what are you doing that we're not? And we couldn't put our finger on it. But what I'm proud to tell you this year, so far, and we're going to knock on wood when we say it, we, for summer, this is our 24-25 school year. For summer of 24, we were up almost 4%. For fall, which is still going on and we're enrolling, we have a winter session, we have all kinds of things. For fall, we're up almost 9%. If we can just have a good spring, and we think we will, and retain students, we could end the year about 1 or 2 percentage points where we were before COVID, which was one of the highest enrollments we'd ever had. So it's taken us a little while to recover, but it hasn't, we're not down for the count. We are coming back, and the team is working very hard to make that happen. That being said, there's what I put on y'all's desk, and I put some extras over there. Several things I wanted to show you real quick. The book is the latest annual report. Our new one's about to come out. But it just gives you a bunch of stuff about the college. But inside of it is really what I wanted to give you. This is what I call the elevator sheet. So it's this sheet that looks like this. This is the college at a glance. And so you all have it. If someone says, how many students they serve? What are they doing? Whatever they might ask you, this is what I use, again, as my elevator speech. And so just to give you some quick things about it, we were established in 1967, so this is our 57th birthday. One of 58 community colleges. We are now a 125-acre campus. I'll explain that in a moment. We're the 11th largest employer in Nash County. That's unique for a community college. Typically, the community colleges is number 3 or 4. You might have a city, you might have the hospital, you might have the county, and then the college. I'm proud of this. That means there's 10 other industries that can hire our graduates. Nash is a very industrial county, and we're very proud of that. We do about 800 or more degrees, diplomas every year with our graduates coming out. But we do thousands of more worker trainings. And the number I want you to concentrate on is at 20,717. That's how many students we served last year. And the back of this sheet breaks it down, but before we go there, the economic impact in Nash County of having a college in the county is about $86 million. That's $22 million direct and $64 million because we've been here since 1967. There's a social effect and things like that. I'm proud of that, but I'm more proud of the return on investment for the county funding we get is 30 to 1. If my retirement account did that, I would not be here with you good people. I would be out fishing somewhere or doing something else. But even at the state level, when I visit with the delegates, the return on investment for state funding is 3 to 1, which means it does not cost a dime to have Nash Community College in Nash County. So we're very, very proud of that. But the one I'm the most proud of is that 1 in 38 jobs in this county has been touched by the college. And I felt that from the very moment I got here, still do today, from the number of people. I wear Nash stuff everywhere. People say, do you work at Nash? I'm like, yes, I do. Oh, my grandmother went there, my granddad went there, my aunt went there, my nephew went there. It's just this long lineage of who went to the college. I love that. So we're very, very proud of all that. The college as a whole serves about 68, 70,000 people a year, 21,000 of those being students. The one on the bottom right corner, I want you to really take to heart, because we always hear how college is too expensive. What media doesn't do is split out, except local media. They're really good. What media doesn't do is say universities are too expensive. Community colleges in North Carolina are not. If you need a full 2-year degree, and I'm a president that doesn't believe everybody needs one, but if you do to move on to a 4-year, you can finish that with us for less than $6,000 for a full first 2 years of a 4-year degree. You're going to pay 2 or 3 times that to go to a state university. You can finish the first 2 per semester. You can finish the full 2 years with us for $6,000. But most of our students don't do that. They do trainings that are less time consuming, which means less expense. We do things, career in 2 years, career in a year, career in 6 months. We have a program that's a 3-month human resources development class. It trains you how to be successful in the workplace. If you're underemployed or unemployed, it's free. If you're anybody else, it's $186. And it can get you a job in this county. So anything from $6,000 all the way down to $186. College is not too expensive. Some universities are really expensive, but not community colleges. The back of that sheet has the breakdown of that almost 21,000 students. And the reason I like to show this to people, we were set up in 1967 as a tech school. We were Nash Technical, as most of the colleges in the state were. We are still a technical school. When you look at our continuing education, served 13,000 students last year, 62% of our total. Career and technical ed like nursing, electric line construction, things like that, another 14%. When you add those together, we're 76% plus still in the skills market. So, 3/4 of our students go into the workplace directly. Now, others go to university, and again, we need doctors and lawyers and everybody else. We partner very closely with 16 schools around the state, but specifically North Carolina Wesleyan University. It's my belief as president of Nash that if we keep students in the county, instead of letting them go to UNC Wilmington, everybody wants to go to Wilmington, I think we all know why, But if we could keep them in the county, no matter what the degree they're looking for, they might stay. And we send our best and brightest out of every county in the state. Every year they graduate from high school. Let's keep them in the county a little more. The other sheet that's in there that I put together is the what we do sheet. I have people all the time say, hey, I've got 10 minutes. Can I come by and tour the campus? And I'm like, well, sure. What one thing do you want to see? And they're like, well, what do y'all do? So I put this together to show CEOs and others. This sheet tells you what we do. It's incredible. We're a comprehensive community college. And so it gives you an idea of other things that we do. Two of the other sheets in there are for My Future NC, and they show Nash County demographics versus state demographics on things like childhood poverty rate. Ours in the county is 20.4. They didn't used to put childhood in front of poverty rate, and people didn't look at it closely. But when you say 20.4% childhood poverty rate, that gets attention. That's too high. Now, other counties have higher, some counties have lower, but that's too high in my opinion. So I like this kind of data to look at. It helps us decide what do we need to be doing to help the population. It shows educational attainment. It's all kind of information. The other one is the state, so you can compare that, compare it with the state. The last sheet in there, besides the map, this is a new program the General Assembly put together called Next NC. It is a scholarship. A lot of our students don't qualify for Pell funding from federal, which means basically college is free. They make a little too much, or their parents make a little too much. Well, the state General Assembly said, let's put another threshold in place and say, okay, you may not have gotten full Pell, but let's fund you to go to college. So if you're Next NC eligible, you might not have got full Pell, but you're still going to be basically free to come to college in Nash. So again, when we say it's not too expensive to go to community college, a large number of our students can go free. I'm not a big fan of free. I think you need a little skin in the game, and most of them have some. But the fact that it's very inexpensive to come is a good thing. That I would love at some point to bring you all to campus as a council and have breakfast or lunch. The mayor's done that with me before. And just hear more about the college and tour the facility. Because on the map, the little map that you have in your sheet, this is our latest campus map. And what it shows is two additions. One's our the Brazzaville Veterinary Medical Technology building, which we opened in the summer. Only us and Cape Fear have veterinary medical technology programs in the east, and Cape Fear is a long way from here. So we train most of the veterinary medical technicians in the central part of the east and the north part of the east. If you think about a vet tech, they're the person you hand your animal to when you walk in the vet's office. It's a very high turnover job, so there's always a need for them. But up in the very top, I will tell you, these two buildings and this structure are built debt-free. We found the funding to do this. I don't like going into debt. The driver training center allows us to house our commercial truck driver's license program, all of our programs that require Class A CDLs like electric line construction, basic law enforcement, fire, EMS, things like that. We were actually borrowing space in Edgecombe County because we couldn't, every time we would find a parking lot in Nash County, the DMV would approve, the building attached to it would sell. And almost immediately, and I don't blame them, the new owners would say, look, we can't have trucks in the parking lot all the time. So we were out of options, and we found a place in Edgecombe County. So I called the president of Edgecombe Community College and said, Greg, I need a favor. We worked together to get it done, so we've been in Edgecombe for a good while. We are now driving on the pad. It's a 4.5 acre concrete pad to the whole complex to the tune of $2 million, but it's a great addition to the college. The issues in the west right now with Hurricane Helene, Tropical Storm Helene, have kind of set us back a little on getting the building finished because of electrical issues. We hope within a month to be doing the groundbreak or the ribbon cutting for this facility, then it'll be fully functional. So great additions to the college. The county had deeded us 14 acres to build this on. They had purchased land adjacent to campus to build the Pet Connection Adoption Center on. They used our color brick. It fits right in with the campus, and then deeded us this other acreage. So moved us to 125 acres, and we're very proud of that addition. So with that, I know I've talked probably too long. I just wanted to come meet with y'all again, say things are good at Nash Community College. I appreciate being a Nash County citizen. I'm a Battleboro citizen, not a Nashville citizen, but I am in Nash County. But we appreciate the support that we see from Nashville, from this council, and just want to continue to provide what y'all need. And if you think of things that we're not doing that we might need to be doing, all you gotta do is give me a call. And if we can do it, we certainly will. You are our customers, and we've got to continue to fulfill the customer's needs. So with that, any questions you have, I'd be happy to answer. And if not, I'll get out of your hair.
We just thank you for coming, Dr. Honeycutt, and we just glad to hear good things about Nash Community College, so keep it up.
I will continue to try to share only the good.
Okay, thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank
and
you very
I'm
much.
going to get out of y'all's hair.
Thank you.
I'm going to read these. Anybody wants the map or that elevator, you're welcome to take it. Thank y'all so much.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
The next item on our agenda, the old business, is the facade grant application. Okay, Sean?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Once again, it's truly an honor to be in the council chambers before you, presenting once again. This evening, we have a facade grant that we need to approve. Mr. Scott Tyson applied back on August 18, 2023, and we'll kind of expedite through this because I know you did your due diligence of reading over it. But he applied for the upfit the front facade of his building at 302 West Washington Street in the downtown Nashville Strong MSD district. It was denied because, of course, you know, we did not have in our bylaws that was a part of the part that you could upfit for your facade grant. As you know, back on September 3rd, 2024, we brought this back before the advisory board, brought it before the council. You guys did vote a vote of approval to approve our bylaws to make this where now you can upfit rooftops and things in the facade grant. So we reached back out to Mr. Tyson on September 12, 2024 to inform him of the new program rules. Mr. Tyson has completed an updated application, which is in your packet, stating that what he wants to do for is upfitting his facade. He's asking for approval of $5,000 facade grant through the town that will address the roof on 302 West Washington Street. If you look at the application on the next page, it's just where he went back in, plugged the same information in from the one last year, just updated the date, updated some things. He resubmitted a quote, which I did ask him to get the company Stone and Tate Construction to come back out, give us an updated quote for today's market for building and this type of work on today's value. Nothing really changed on it. He is willing and able to offset the part that he needs to do, but he's hoping that the council will give a vote of approval for this. Mayor, I will turn it back over to you, yield back to you for deliberation with the council, and then I'll give you my approval of what I asked for.
Do you have any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, sir, Councilman Long.
I want to make sure that we are correct, because did the wording say new roof, or did the wording say roof upfit? Because I want to make sure we're following our own rules.
I'm looking at that right now.
I do not have that in front of me. Let me see if I have the resolution we drafted.
Because this is obviously not a new roof.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. I think if we do have replacement, we can go back and amend
We can
it.
adjust it,
Yeah,
but we just need to make
say.
sure we're following our own
Yeah.
rules.
Right.
So, because I think this is probably going to be nicer than a new roof, to be honest
I
with
think so too.
you. Yeah.
If the council has any more deliberation amongst each other.
You looking it up?
I
Well,
am
we just need to
looking, yeah.
find it, and make
Okay,
sure that
yes,
we're
sir.
doing the right thing, because
Let me see if I can.
I don't know that this is the updated one. No, I think this is the old one.
should be in the minutes for maybe a meeting or
For
two,
the
right?
last move. Let's see. if we-
Yeah, it wasn't the
It
last
was.
one, so it must have been.
September 3rd, 2024.
Because I'm afraid it's going to say new roof.
Yeah, I think that's the language that it said as well.
just says,
Well, we could change that wording. amend
Yeah,
that
I'm saying
wording.
it just says facades may include roofs if the roof is prominently visible from the front view of the building.
But there is a provision in there that says.
The entire roof.
If it's made for a roof, they have to replace the whole
So-
roof at the same time.
Go, keep going.
There's something about the entire roof in there somewhere, because
Yeah, what was amended is you have to replace the, you have to-
right, that's what
whatever
I'm
you're
saying.
gonna do to
We
the
won't
roof,
do part
you
of a
have to do
roof.
To the whole roof.
Correct.
But I don't know that we say it like you just said it. We should say it like that.
Well, that's how it, that was in red, that's what we changed.
What does it
How
say?
it says.
But we added must include,
Must include,
so I'm not sure if what I pulled up was the,
Yeah,
Alright, let
we
me look
amended
on
it to say the
September
whole,
3rd.
because you can't just do the front and
Right.
and get your money, you gotta do the whole thing.
Right.
Right.
No, we did say the whole thing, I remember
Yeah,
that.
but do we say the entire roof has to be
All right, let me,
changed, or does it say new, or?
I don't think it said that.
We can make an
think it-
amendment, I guess, to make sure it does, if you want to, if
I
the
don't
council
think
wants to do that.
That's not that.
You would think so.
Facade
I would
grant
think.
review and approve recommendations.
If you're gonna do a new one, you're gonna replace the
Final
ones on
draft.
there.
But this is not replacing.
Any property.
What?
owner,
He's not
tenant,
replacing
business
it.
No,
tenant,
he's sanding it
one
down,
for
painting it.
property, projects be awarded. Proposed
What,
facade
you
grants
sanding
be
down the
okay.
I
whole
mean,
roof?
the language in the agenda report, it says that facade grant, as long as the roof is prominently visible from the street view of the building and the whole roof of the building is addressed.
Yeah,
Does it
doesn't
say that?
Yeah.
Well, that's what it says in the
that's what we,
agenda
that's what
report
we
that you have
approved.
in your packet.
You're talking about now?
Yeah.
That we change, I mean, yeah, facades may include roofs and awnings if the roof is prominently visible from the front of the building. This is what's in the minutes. All work must be started by failure to comply, property owners wishing, there's something about historic. This
Right, have to go
historic,
to the motion to approve. These are just the overviews.
no, this is the minutes, so this is.
Says
what I
the
put-
whole
this is the-
roof.
What I put in there.
So.
Right.
looks
Or
like
would
me,
you have the
whether
motion in
replace it
second?
or you
Oh,
fix it.
that's-
It's the whole roof.
Back over here.
That's where
Yeah, but
the
I think-
language
I
was
think our-
added.
I think our
All right,
policy
let's-
calls for a new
let's-
roof.
I think Lou found it here.
Okay.
All right.
What does it say, Lou?
It says, to approve roof replacement / improvement if the roof is prominently visible from the front view of the building with the entire roof being replaced and awnings as an allowable expense in the MSD facade grant program if the applicant pays the MSD tax.
Okay, so I think we need to do replace / repair, like you have in that first part of it, for the second part.
Yeah, because, yeah,
Wouldn't that be covered under improvement?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like replace or improvement, but then the very next portion of that sentence, we say, so long as the whole entire roof is replaced.
I need to
So
say.
I think we have to
yeah.
say replaced / improved,
Correct.
however you have it in the
Okay.
beginning of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Do we need a motion for that, or can you just add that?
Let's do that.
Well, ask for a motion and second, and then you can take the vote on
This
it.
is
Okay.
not on the agenda. Changing the
Yeah,
wording
we
of
have
the
to
thing.
run
I
it through.
mean, we can't
public
vote
hearing.
yes without
Yeah, we gotta
changing
run it through
changing
public
that,
hearing
in my
To
opinion.
change that part of it.
I think it covers it as
Huh?
is.
That second sentence concerns me.
So
Raz?
read the sentence again, Lou.
It says to improve, all right, so you made the motion to approve the roof replacement / improvement if the roof is prominently visible from the front view of the building with the entire roof being replaced and awnings as an allowable expense in the MSD facade grant program if the applicant pays the MSD tax. So it's all one sentence, so I think you've got it covered with the improvement
So,
under there.
but what does our actual dig grant say now? Does it say that, or is that just the motion that you're reading?
That's the motion. All right, let me look at the attachments that we attached in here. Final draft.
Yes, ma'am.
The dig is, yeah.
It is.
And Sean, you redid the application, but I don't have on my computer the latest
Right, and
one
he,
that you have. Is it,
It's in the application that it must be done from what we had them fill out.
In the guidelines.
Right, in the guidelines, where we update our guidelines that we send with the packet application of what the new language stated that was voted
Okay.
on.
So yeah, as
In-
long as we're interpreting that,
Because in the guidelines for
Mm-hmm.
the application, it just says facades may include roofs and awnings. It doesn't go into the
The detail.
details of whether it's repairing or a new roof.
okay.
So, yeah.
So we're covered?
So as long as the guidelines don't
Right.
specifically say anything about replacement or
Then we're
repair,
covered.
I think we've seen this application before. The intent was to be able to approve this application, which was not to replace it with a new roof. It was to keep the tin roof and do the repairs.
Right, correct.
Right.
So I think as long as the guidelines don't say that the whole roof has to be
Be
replaced at the
replaced.
same time, but where do we say that?
The
Because
gui-
obviously that's a detail that we added.
I know with the new update that we just added in on the packet for them, that they pick up stating the new language that was voted on that evening, that they know when they read through it.
It's in the guidelines.
So we're
We
covered.
added the roofs in
Right.
under the guidelines. of
But did we
Right.
add in the fact that they have to either replace or repair the entire thing, not just a portion of
Let's
it,
see.
in the guidelines?
Only renovation, all work must be started. I don't think so.
Because what I'm reading online is the old one. It's
Yeah.
not the new guidelines that we,
Let me see if I can log into, I don't have my
Don't-
iPad with me to be able to log in.
Applicant must submit to the applicant in 6 months, prove grant funding. No. That is not in the application.
Let me see.
It's in the, where we worded it, but it's not in the application. It just says roofs.
I guess my question is
Yeah.
like, how does a person know that they have to do the
Right.
whole entire roof without coming back to the minutes of that meeting? We have to
That
have it
would-
some,
needs to be in the application.
right, we're gonna have to
Right.
have it either in the application or the guidelines or both.
And I would take it that we would not release funding until we did a visual inspection to make sure it made compliance with what we wanted.
Right, and
I
I
wouldn't
I
release
guess
the
my
fund-
recommendation would just
Right.
be to update the guidelines to include the language that.
And we don't have to have a motion for that, since
Okay.
we've already passed it in a meeting.
Right.
Okay,
We go in and I'll get with you this evening and get all those notes and, clean it up on our end on the town side.
So, proceeding, do we have a motion to approve this $5,000 MSD facade grant to Scott Tyson, Oakland Grove Land LLC for facade improvements to 302 West Washington Street?
so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
The next item on our agenda is the street judicial transfer.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Sean.
much.
Thank you.
So Mayor and Council, 3 years ago, the town had approached the NCDOT here in Nash County, at that time it was Bobby Lieberman, about doing a jurisdictional transfer. We had thought and believed, and still do, that North Clarendon Drive is more of an arterial and should be a state route and not a town street. They agreed. So we began the process of doing a jurisdictional transfer. If you remember, one of the things we were required to do was to put a fresh 2-inch layer of asphalt on North Clarendon between Eastern Avenue and Washington Street, which we did. The DOT will take over ownership and maintenance of North Clarendon in exchange for the town taking ownership and maintenance of 6th Street, which is between Alston and Brake Street, and then the south portion of Brooklyn Boulevard from 6th Street to its dead end. So, as you know, Brake Street and 6th Street are not heavily traveled and have very little heavy truck traffic on them. So their street surfaces, which were recently done in the last 5 years by the DOT, they're in good condition and they won't need any work for them for probably 15 to 20 years. So to complete this jurisdictional transfer, The DOT is asking the council to pass Resolution 2024-29 and submit to the DOT two forms, SR2, which is acceptance of 6th Street and Brooklyn Boulevard, and SR3, which is abandonment of North Clarendon Drive.
So, do I hear a motion to approve resolution 2024-29, the request to the North Carolina Department of Transportation for North Clarendon Drive to be added to the state maintained secondary road system and submission of Form SR-2 and SR-3 accepting ownership of 6th Street and Brooklyn Boulevard?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
The next item on our agenda is the Arbor Day proclamation in our new business.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So the first item I have for you tonight is the annual Arbor Day proclamation for the town of Nashville. National Arbor Day is celebrated in April every year, but it's common in North Carolina for it to be celebrated to line up with the planting season. So that's why we've been doing it in November every year. I do apologize, in the agenda report I have two dates there, but we are wanting to celebrate on November 7th, not November 8th. And what we were planning to do this year is to work with the elementary school, do a program there, and add to the fruit orchard that we've been working on for several years there, and to plant 8 American hornbeams in the right-of-way along Highway 58 in front of the Fellowship Church property, which is headed out towards Glover Park. And I do have that proclamation there for your review.
Did you review the proclamation, everyone? Great. I looked at the orchard just when I received this packet, and look at those trees are doing very well out there, aren't they?
Yes,
Did they
ma'am.
have any fruit this season at all?
Some of them did, just a little bit.
Well, that's great. So, do I have a motion to proclaim November 7th, 2024 as Arbor Day in Nashville?
So made.
Is there a
Second.
second? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Since you're there, would you like to just continue with the annual Children's Christmas Parade?
Yes, ma'am. So the next item we have for you is the special event permit for the annual Downtown Christmas event that we do in partnership with the Nashville Chamber of Commerce. This year, we have planned that event on, and again, I apologize, the agenda report says November 2nd. That is December 2nd. That is December 7th, which is the first Saturday in December, from 2 to 6:30. The activities we planned are very similar to last year. We did change the layout just slightly. At 2 o'clock, we'll have activities, crafts, games, bounce houses set up in the county building courtyard area, along with a performance from a local choir. At 4:30, the bicycle parade will start. It'll go down Washington Street, loop around the battleship, and stop at our lovely Christmas tree, where we will do a tree lighting ceremony. After that, we've arranged for Santa Claus to visit the town of Nashville and take pictures at the exchange with all the boys and girls. So with this requiring a street closure, it does require a public hearing for that event.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion that we go into a public hearing concerning
moved.
this?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Do I have any public comments in the? If not, do I hear a motion to close the public hearing?
Move to close.
Is there a second?
Second.
The motion carries. All those, do I hear a motion for us to approve this special event permit for the annual Downtown Children's Christmas Parade for Saturday, December the 7th, 2024, from 2 to 6:30 on Washington Street between Barnes Street and Austin Street, and authorize the town clerk to submit the town's resolution for the event to the DOT?
Move to approve.
I
Second.
have a question or statement.
Okay?
So, last year Joanna had some issues because she wasn't told. So, how are we going to do that this year about telling the people, the vendors, the merchants, that we're closing the road because she didn't get the memo, so I don't know. I don't know what the
Who's
memo
that?
was from the Vino.
So,
She had an event that night and it was a problem.
so we, we may have missed her for that event. What we've done for the Halloween event this year, one, we have went directly to every business down Washington Street,
Good.
delivered a flyer to them with information about the event and the date and times. We also plan to go back the same week as the event. So next week, we will go back and make contact with them again, just to make sure that everybody's aware. So we'll make sure to do the same thing with the Christmas event.
Especially the two businesses that open at night, which is her and the little oyster place.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think
Anyways.
the great thing about our parade is it's all about children. There's no politics in it, you know, it's just a fun time for our little children, and I really enjoy that. So thank you so much for planning everything.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So we don't vote on that.
Did I get,
Yeah, sorry, I
did I
interrupted
get a motion?
Oh, I think I
I got a
seconded.
motion and a second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. You interrupted me.
Sorry, I want to make sure that was clear.
The next item on our agenda is the WNCP Shell Building.
So Mayor and Council, we have with us this evening Philip Jones with Legacy Development Group. And as you know, we have a development agreement with him and his partner to construct a 10,000 square foot shell building on Lot 3 in the West Nashville Commerce Park. And per that agreement, which we approved, I believe it was in April of 2023, the shell building is to be substantially complete by January 30th, 2025. Mr. Jones is here this evening to request a time extension to complete the construction of the shell building, and citing the lengthy bidding and approval process for securing a long-term lease on the building with the North Carolina Department of Transportation.
Okay?
Good evening, Mayor and Town Council. Yeah, so we're requesting an extension to the agreement because of the lengthy process. Just to give more, so we did sign the agreement April 23rd of last year. We started getting information back from North Carolina Department of Transportation around October. From then, they visited the site. They liked the site. They liked what we were proposing them that we would do. Then we went through a design phase of where they requested different things, told us what they'll be using the facility for, which is going to be some office space for their employees, but the main part of it is going to be a training facility for welding certifications, concrete certifications, and soil testing certifications. So people will come to this site mainly all over from the East Coast because they're moving out of their Wilson location specifically to come here to get state certified in those three trades. So that's what the building is going to be used for. From that point, we had to submit. They had to issue an RFP. We had to reply to the RFP, win it. From that standpoint, then it was. They have a Council of State meeting, or they have to present the lease to the State Council, and that process, we literally got pushed off the agenda like 3 times. It was like 3 times where it was like, okay, we're not going to meet. I guess they have a thing where if one of the people can't make it, then they don't have the meeting all together. So that got pushed all the way up until August. And then August, that got approved by the state. Now we are in the process of, we reviewed the lease. We had negotiated a few terms of the lease. Now we submitted that back. We're in the final version, and that's being approved by the Attorney General. And they said we should have that back in about 2 weeks. So as soon as the lease is executed, we have funding as far as a mortgage that we're going to put on the building through Providence Bank. That's one of the banks we talked to. We're still considering others depending on how the rates and stuff work out. And then we also have a group of partners that we'll be working with for the other part of the building. So we're just requesting this be extended through the roughly Q3 of 2026. We're really expecting to have this finished from what the general contractors are quoting us on how long it's going to take to build the project.
And may I ask you one question? Is it a definite thing with the state? They have not signed anything yet in an agreement, have they, or have they?
It's not signed, but I would say it's 100% definite at this point in time because we had to, the specifics of the RFP that we had to win is specifically to the building that we're designing for them. And they're not gonna, like I said, they're not trying to start the process all over again to go through that again. So at this point, I would definitely say we're 100% certain that they're gonna sign the lease and we'll move forward.
Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
It says in here the agreement that you've submitted, the lease agreement, that is supposed to commence on October 1st of 2025, but you're looking for an extension through June 30th, 2026. When are you looking to have them into this building?
June 2026 or Q3. So that's when the lease will commence soon as they're in. That was like, so that language was literally from October of last year when we first started communications, and it just took so long. Because we originally, when we had submitted the RFP, we told them if we can get this stuff signed and we expect to have you in the building, hopefully by this October. But it's just taking so long.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
What is your construction time window, start to finish? When do you anticipate breaking ground?
January 2025.
January 2025.
This coming
Yeah,
January.
This coming
This
January.
coming January.
Yeah,
And completion date will be what?
June 2026. That's what we're aiming for.
Year and a half?
Yeah, well, that's being conservative. So we really expect it to be done before that, but just saying that time period up there. General contract is to give time for weather delays or anything like that that may happen. It could take, at minimum, 10 months, and then at maximum, to the year and a half. Because it's not just a shell building. We're going to be building 10 offices, and then we're going to have a mezzanine for them, and then we have to upfit their space that they're going to be using to do the certifications, and then also parking lot, the back area where they're going to – it's just going to be a lot more than just a shell building.
Okay. all right.
Yes, sir.
May I have some questions?
Yes.
So, I'm new to the council, so do you have any skin in the game today?
What do you mean by
Have you
skin?
paid us any money at all?
We bought the land from the town.
Okay, there is, okay. And is the state looking at other sites?
No. No.
Did they pay the money?
Philip, they were though, correct? And you had to put in your bid for their business, and you won that.
Yeah. Well, they literally weren't. Well, they saw, so we put our marketing on CoStar because we really wanted to secure a lease before we built the building. That was our goal. So they saw our marketing on CoStar, and then which is a commercial platform to market properties, and they reached out to us directly and said, we really like this area, we really like this location. We're going to issue an RFP. It is going to be very specific. Like in the RFP, it literally said we wanted to be in Nashville, North Carolina. Like, it was very specific to our location. So I wouldn't say that they were looking for anywhere else. They issued the RFP for us to win it.
Mayor, I have one more thought. I don't mind giving an extension. I would love to see an executed copy of the lease first before giving any extension. Just so that we're not giving a blanket extension if this were to fall through. And then I think maybe we should have some benchmarks placed in there as well, as far as time goes, like when we would want to see groundbreaking and, 50% progress. Those are just my thoughts.
No, I agree. Isn't there benchmarks now that we're already passed, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, it can't be achieved at this point. I mean, substantial completion by January 2025, Philip has to apply for a building permit to begin, and that hasn't happened yet. And by his own statement, minimum of 10 months to build a building. So he's not going to achieve that date. But Philip, you'd mentioned you expect to have the signed lease by the end of the month in 2 weeks.
That's what they told me, and I followed back up with them.
Yeah,
So
I
I'll
mean-
confirm that.
If the council feels more comfortable, you could table this till the November meeting, which would give them time, hopefully, to have, and then we could have additional thought on benchmarks during that we can work out with Philip along the way.
Okay.
Are they going to sign a lease with you if you don't extend first? What comes first?
Say that again.
Are they going to sign a lease with you without us extending currently?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd rather do that.
Do I hear that in the form of a motion,
I make that motion.
that we table it? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Well, Philip, we hope you can get everything going.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. The
Mayor,
next,
Mayor, one follow-up question. If our agenda for November 5th is looking rather large, are you okay if it comes at November 19th meeting? To have it back on the agenda? That gives them a couple extra weeks just in case. The
They don't get
DOT
it.
hasn't been real prompt on getting you things.
They're so slow, but you know it's the state. So, what can you say?
okay, that'll be fine. Okay, the next item on our agenda is budget amendments. Tressa,
Good afternoon. Before you to present 3 budget amendments. The first one is budget amendment number 9. In FY '24, we allocated funds to upfit 2 Dodge Durangos and to replace all police radios. Unfortunately, those upfits nor the radios were received as of June 30th, 2024. Budget amendment number 9 increases the revenues and expenditures for FY '25 by $155,395 to cover the upfits for the 2 Dodge Durangos and all police radios.
do I hear a motion? Do you have any questions concerning this? If not, do I hear a motion to approve budget amendment number 9, increasing revenues and expenditures in FY '25 police budget by $155,395 to cover the vehicle upfits and the new police radios?
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Amendment's approved.
All right, amendment number 10, the town received a $200 donation from the Nashville Downer to assist with the annual police and fire kit camp that the Nashville Parks and Rec program puts on with the police department and the fire department. Budget amendment number 10, increases the revenues and expenditures for FY '25 by $200 for the annual police camp.
Do I hear a motion to approve budget amendment number 10, increasing revenues and expenses in the PRCR departments FY '25 by $200 for the annual police and fire kids camp?
Move to approve.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Amendment's approved.
Okay, budget amendment number 11, the Nashville Police Department recently sold its police dog for $8,000. Budget amendment number 11 adds $8,000 to FY '25 police budget to, and appropriate, I'm sorry, I'm reading this wrong. Budget and appropriates it to its expenditures to go towards replacing the new police dog.
Any questions? Not, do I hear a motion to approve budget amendment number 11, adding $8,000 to the FY '25 police budget and appropriating $8,000 towards the purchase of a replacement police dog?
Move to approve.
There's second.
Second.
All those in favor? And don't we have a
Hey,
new,
Mayor,
don't we have a new police dog
Don't we have-
named Knox?
We have a new dog, and I understand he's made his,
First debut,
first
and he was
debut.
successful.
Successful. When do we get introduced to the dog?
When's Knox coming to see us? Isn't his name Knox, wasn't it? Is he still a little hyper?
As long as we got a trainer with him, I'll be all right.
Are there any other questions or any comments from the council?
Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
I want to take this opportunity and thank Randy, our town manager, our public works director, and our deputy police chief for the work that our first responders, police and fire more specifically, are doing in the western part of the state.
Most definitely.
We are so grateful to have talented and committed and dedicated public safety officers here in Nashville. But when they go over and beyond the call of duty to do the work that they're doing, we want them to know that they have our full support and that it has not gone unnoticed. So thank you very much.
And Mayor, I'd like to add to that. I was talking with Lieutenant Shockley about the deployments out to the west, and I understand we had two rookies that went out there that just now have got their feet wet as being a police officer, and they stepped up volunteered and went out there and did a great job, so they ought to be commended as well.
Absolutely.
We have great teams in Nashville. Everywhere I go, someone's bragging. In fact, the meeting I just left, someone was bragging on you, and was it Chris that met with this gentleman today, Randy?
Oh, from Senator Ted Bugg,
Uh-huh.
one of his
Yeah, John,
aides.
John.
Yeah.
And they would just talk about how impressed they were with our town and my town manager and Chris. So you made me proud, children. So anyway, if there's no other comments, do I hear a motion?
One other thing. Randy, you've received a call today. The mayor has been contacted today. I've been contacted today. We are continuing to have a recycling problem. I think this problem has gone way too long without being corrected. And I don't know if we were joking when we said it or not. If they don't fix it tomorrow, we're gonna go out and cut the line. I don't know if that was a joke or whether a promise made, but if this recycling company can't do any better than what they're doing, I'd like for it to go down on record that when their contract comes up again, we need to give it to somebody else. If they can't do what we are paying them to do, and that our citizens are paying every month with their utility bills, if we can't abide by that, then I think we need to move on and find somebody else that can do it right.
And I will say that the people you're talking about came to visit me today, and I went to Randy, and Randy's taking care of it, contacted the person that's supposed to come and fix the line. So we're doing everything we can. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. If we
You
have to go
guys-
out there with our scissors, we will.
If you want to exercise in frustration, just try and get a hold of a cable company to elevate a line.
That makes no sense.
Yeah. Thank you. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Being no further business.
Is there a second? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Thank you all for coming out tonight.